Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 9th Mission Support Command. Blessings and ribbon cutting ceremony for the modular small arms range of what we call the MSR.
I've been in the Army a long time, 31 years, and I've shot on a lot of ranges, and I've done a lot of training with weapons and live ammunition, and I will tell you, behind me is about the most impressive facility that I have seen. And it's built for the sons and daughters and the soldiers of the Army Reserve here in American Samoa. And I'm proud to be in partnership with the agencies here of American Samoa to let them use it too. And we'll partner and we'll train together and we'll reap the benefits of this facility. The Chief of the Army Reserve says where the Army Reserve is going is not where we have been. And it's facilities like this, built for soldiers like this, that really take us to the next level and make us more ready and responsive, which is what the U.S. Army of the Pacific wants. For the American Samoa soldiers, past and present, you spoke, you told us what you wanted here, and the Army Reserve listened, and they invested in you. And I want you to enjoy your new range. Hua?
It is only fitting that we are here this afternoon to bless the opening of this facility, because it is a mighty fortress, a shield and a stronghold, a facility not only to train our soldiers, but to sharpen their skill sets, as we have heard through the Brigadier this afternoon, to be more effective defenders and protectors in our fight for freedom and democracy.
They're going to go to HVAC, sir. Yeah, they should in there. Definitely.
Yes.
Okay.
You can press the spot and then you can talk to the range master. Everything they was controlling. If you're not using it, you can if there's any malfunction, so that means it's,
and it goes down 10 meters. Face it right, and then you can also
you can communicate with the range master. So you just press this button, and so you ballistic acrylics for the RMO, and it also helps with noise reduction.
Their rifles and the bullets travel here this direction. It will around, and then there are some buckets back there. It will collect the rounds that we have. Just in a small. The outside, so no rounds will ever go past
what's that? The range compartment is.
I want to be up there.
All in one time. Any comments?
The benefit of the MSAR, to begin with, is a tremendous amount of benefit to the Army and to the soldiers. I'm very excited that the MSAR, again, the modular small arms range, this is the first one being built by the U.S. Army Reserve, and very excited. It is in my command's area of operations in the Pacific in American Samoa. This particular range, we're going to allow our soldiers to train right on site. American Samoa, per capita, has more volunteers for the United States Army than any other region in the United States. And we have a very large footprint in terms of personnel over in American Samoa. However, to get our soldiers combat ready, they need to be able to live fire their small arms weapons. For the Army Reserve in American Samoa, in order to do that, it costs the American taxpayers tens of thousands of dollars to ship entire companies from American Samoa, fly them over, keep them overnight over in Schofield Barracks here in Hawaii in order to get them trained. And of course, that's time away for those soldiers away from their families. By building this MSAR and locating it right in American Samoa, we can conduct the training right in American Samoa. We can keep our soldiers integrated with their families, integrated with their community. So this is a very, very exciting thing. It's going to help increase unit readiness and actually reduce costs to the American taxpayer. In addition to these benefits, though, we're also very excited that we're going to be partnering with the American Samoa Police Department. Right now, because there are no firing ranges in American Samoa, there's nowhere for the American Samoa Police to train on their weapons, just as we can't with our weapons in the U.S. Army. So by partnering with the American Samoa Police Department, we're also going to help the American Samoa civilian police force get trained up and get certified on their weapon. So this is a win-win situation. We're reducing costs for the American taxpayer, increasing unit readiness, keeping soldiers at home integrated with their families, and at the same time benefiting the community and making a more ready and capable police force right there in the local community in American Samoa. When the United States Army first started in American Samoa, and we started locating units down there, and where I'm going to stretch back all the way back to the early 1980s, we did actually have a range out there. It was a live fire range out in the open. We literally shot our weapons out into a hill. It was extremely dangerous. Environmental contamination was a very big concern of us. Because of concerns regarding safety, because of environmental regulations, the Army voluntarily shut down the range several decades ago. And we made the decision that instead of continuing doing this not quite probably safe training environment, we would instead ship our soldiers, put them on an airplane, and once a year send them over to Hawaii to train with the 25th Infantry Division over at Schofield Barracks. It was good, it worked, but it's extremely expensive. Because of the enormous expense, the Army has wanted to build its own small arms range right there in American Samoa. It has been a, almost decade-long quest for us to find the right location, land that the federal government could acquire and then meet all of the construction standards and requirements. But after all of the regulations, after going through all of the legal hurdles and whatnot here, I'm very excited that finally here now in 2019, we've built the facility. It's there. It is close to the Army Reserve Center. It is close to the airport, and we're going to get operational. You know, I also want to emphasize here something that's a little bit different for the United States Army Reserve in American Samoa that is different from pretty much anywhere else in the United States of America, is that American Samoa does not have a National Guard. Unlike any other American territory, the U.S. Army Reserve is the National Guard for American Samoa. So not only are we part of the force to help support the United States military on the active component side, in the event of a catastrophic natural disaster, in the event of the need for civil defense, because there's no National Guard, it's the Army Reserve down there in American Samoa that provides that backbone and supports the community down in American Samoa. So we're more than just the Army Reserve down there. We are the military, we are the National Guard, we are the backstop to protect that island, not just from external forces, but also from Mother Nature and disasters in American Samoa.
I think it's important for us as soldiers. Like we don't have to fly overseas, like to shoot and spend our time away from our families and like miss birthdays but now that we have a range, like we get to spend more time with our families and we get to shoot from home. If we do get a call and like we could get trained on shooting and getting qualified, since we have a range here, like we don't need to fly somewhere else like to qualify.
It's very beneficial for us soldiers because we don't have a range here in American Samoa. So it's not that we don't have to jump on an airplane to go off to Oahu, to Area X, go to the range and have some trigger time. But we could have it right next door to, or right close to the Army Reserve Center, so we can just come down during battle assembly and make use of the resources that we now have. The biggest benefit is it's like real life in this box. It's like a real firing range. You can change from a pop-up target range to an indoor clearing houses range, close quarter combat. You can play different scenarios in it, and it's only in this one box. So I'm pretty sure that all the soldiers here in American Samoa are going to benefit from this range.
Everything about what they said about this new range, they say is the most high speed, high whatever. It is true, and we actually like the range because we get the chance to actually shoot our weapons. Because for most of the time we have to wait till we go to Hawaii, so it's like every summer we have to go there to shoot. But for now, we can actually shoot prep, like getting ready and getting used to your weapon before we get to Hawaii to actual shoot qualification. For our Samoan community, most likely for some of us, our family will always need us. So being away from them is kind of hard sometimes.
So the MSAR is in a fully enclosed range with no surface danger zone. It's got 0 surface danger zone to it. And its purpose is to facilitate training within the 9th MSC here in American Samoa skill level 1 training. So when they go on to their collective training, they don't have to worry about their individual training. They can get that done here on home station. From the training aspect, they get the ability to shoot more, or the opportunity to shoot more, to become more proficient with training, shooting their weapons and things of that nature. And obviously the big one is being able to stay here on island and do that, not have to travel. The at-home station that they would get, we have an EST engagement skills trainer here on island that they could practice in. But in order for them to actually qualify to Army Center, they would have to fly to Honolulu, Hawaii, and shoot at one of the ranges out there, Pualoa and or Schofield Barracks there. And then they would move on to AT. It costs a lot of money, okay? It's expensive to fly there and back, and then the time that they spend away from their families, we're able to keep them here at home where they should be without having to fly all the way to Honolulu to 0 and qualify. The other kind of training is going to be up to the imagination. They can do everything from just regular prone unsupported shooting, 0 qualifications, to the more technical aspects of shooting, tracking targets, having live scenarios that are projected image, and target identification and engagement. On the 0, there's the Army standard for that. You're supposed to shoot 3 rounds, okay? And you get your group, shoot 3 more, and as long as you're grouped, then you can start your adjustments to get to the 0, and then you shoot till you get 5 out of 6 rounds in a 4-centimeter circle. That's going to be the zeroing aspect of it. Now the qualification with the prone supported, unsupported, and the kneeling portion of it, how they count for that is every time they shoot, so the first 20 rounds is going to be shot. They bring the target back, they count those hits, they mark those hits, they send it back down. They'll shoot 10 rounds unsupported, prone unsupported. They'll come back, they'll bring the targets back in, they'll count those rounds, and then they'll send it back out for the 3rd and final 10 rounds of kneeling. They'll shoot that, they'll come in, and then they'll calculate the scores at that. So the entire range, not including the RMO room and the storage rooms, is all wrapped in AR 500 steel. That's what's making this range safe. It also has rubber ballistic tiles on the wall with plywood that it's screwed down to, with the AR 500 and air gap, and then AR 500. So the target carriers that hold the silhouettes, they're wireless, okay? So in the event that a soldier does actually shoot through the rail system, there's nothing in there that's going to be affected. There's no electrical, there's no cable, okay? So that's another great benefit of that you can actually shoot that and it won't damage the system and make it, inop at that point, okay? Target carriers will charge, and if they get below a certain level, 40% I think, 30%, they'll edge and they'll come home to charge, which is great. So it's going to kind of do its own thing a little bit. So it takes a little bit of the responsibility off of us. That way a carrier doesn't be down range and then the battery goes dead. Now you got to walk down there and grab it and bring it back and let it charge for 24 hours. It kind of maintains itself in that